So far, we have seen multiple methods to post acquisitions to our assets, but truth be told, in a real world scenario, most of the times we have to involve materials management and just someone from the purchasing area of our organization, because they are the ones who carried out all these lookout for the best supplier, and then they create the purchase order, we have the goods receipt, and then the invoice. So in this section, we just want to show the steps to create these objects, this starting with the purchase order, and how can we can use all this process to post an acquisition to the asset and, well, activate the asset, and of course, well, just have depreciation, for example, on it. So, well, we have to just come here to the right hand side, and we have materials management here. And here we have the app that we can use to create a new purchase order. So let's start this one. One of the first things here is to enter the ID of the vendor. So we will use this one, our example vendor. Now, we also need to complete the header first, probably, then the item overview is the common thing, and then we can even get to the detail of the items. But right now, well, yes, let's start with the header. So we can just expand clicking here. What happens, of course, is, well, we have like this error message, but this is just because we haven't completed the organizational units for the purchasing organization, the purchasing group, and the company code. So let's start with the purchasing organization. The purchasing group, and, well, of course, our company code. We can press enter, and we have the correct values here now for these header fields. So now let's continue, and we need to expand now the item overview. So let's click here just to expand the section. And, well, probably the most important thing, and even some of you who have probably experienced a bit experience with materials management, you probably know, and that this is the most important thing, our setting of what we want as an account assignment type. So we have to come here. Each line is a position. Right now we want to start with the first position, of course, and actually we will only have one position. So let's use the match code, and as you can see, well, the ID for, well, the asset, it's A. With this, we are saying that the account assignment for all this PO, it's an asset, a fixed asset. So let's select that one. And of course, because we are not, this is not we are not purchasing a material, then we can just leave this empty, that column here, this field. And, well, we just need to complete like a short text. It's always a good idea here. So it's just PO for, like, PO for purchase order for the Apple laptop. Okay, this time around we will only have this purchase order for one. So one, and we need to set up the order unit, which is a PC, but this is not for personal computer, of course. It's just pieces. So one piece, and we will set the delivery date in the future. Let's say on Friday here, for example. Now, well, what will be the net price for this? Well, according to our vendor, we need this to be 2,000 euros. And if we scroll a bit more, like, well, we go to the right hand side, we find the material group. Let's use the match code. We will select the one for finished goods. So it's the L004. Finished goods. So let's select that one. And, well, we also need the plant. So let's just go for the ID for our plant, which in this server is just kind of a coincidence. It's the same ID as the company code, but, well, it could be, of course, also different. And we will set up as well a storage location, which is like this 101B. So well, now we need to jump and look for the place in which we can enter the asset master record, the ID for that asset master record. So this is in what we call the detail for the item. So actually we can, for example, collapse the section, and well, it's also running every validation for all the data that we have entered. If there was something wrong, here it will show up. Okay, and well, now these sections have been collapsed and the item has been expanded. So this is what we call just the detail for the scenario for the first and only line item. And well, as you can see, it's a mandatory field. We should enter the asset number here, the asset ID. So we will enter the one that we created, one of the ones that we created for laptops. Okay. Okay, then we also want to check the invoice section just to assign a correct tax code here. As you can see also, well, the message is now gone, the error message, because we entered the correct ID there. And well, for the tax code, we will select an input tax code. It's going to be a 10% input tax code. So with that, we can proceed. And that's it, pretty much what we need for APO. So let's just save this. Now the system will just double check everything again, just and write to the database, but it will also show what we call the PO number, the PO number ID. So this is the one. Really important, of course, because well, with this, for example, when we have the goods receipt, we will have a reference to this PO number. When we have also the invoice verification process, we will have a reference here. So well, it's like the central document, of course. So well, let's just quit this app. And with this, we are finishing the lesson. But of course, we still have some more sections of the just the purchase process from materials management. So we invite you to keep learning with the next lessons.